What's good, guys? I have just watched the fight night with uh, Figueiredo and I'll just say Davidson. I think that's easier to say anyway. Davidson and Benavidez. First of all, the main card was almost all finishes. You know, at 251, I think there might have been one finish in the main card of 251. But in a way, I think every fan has that expectation where, like, the more high profile the card, the less of an expectation, especially because on high profile cards, that's where they're having champions. And most champions are trying to keep the belt as long as they can. So, in a general sense, there's a lot of conservatism in how they fight. I mean, that's not every champion, and that's definitely not every fighter. But it's just like a general thing or it's a general expectation fans have. And cards like these, fight nights, usually pack the most finishes. I mean, because fighters are definitely wanting to get their names out there or whatever. But, you know, as far as that kind of like generalization, this like kind of help, or a stereotype, whatever, this kind of helps to that stereotype. Like I said, almost how many fights in the main card? Two, four, five. Almost all finishes. Most, and you look at it. Well, no, I was wrong about that. Two were decision, 2 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 were finishes, and those 3 finishes were in the first round, which was awesome. Got to talk about it first. Davison demolished Benavidez. That's pretty much what I saw was going to happen. Maybe not to that extent. I actually predicted a knockout, but he got 3 knockdowns in the first round, which it just speaks to the toughness of Benavidez. Also, what speaks to the toughness of Benavidez is Davison attempted the rear naked 3 times as well in that fight, as well as having 3 knockdowns in the fight. He had attempted the rear naked choke I'm pretty sure 3 different times. The first time he wasn't under the chin. The second time he was. The third time was the charm. But you can see from the first 2 times that he was choking Benavidez. Benavidez wasn't. You knew from the first time, or from the first attempt. But if you really knew from the first attempt that Benavidez wasn't going to tap. He would rather pass out. He was going to fight with everything he had. Just speaks to the toughness of him and the character of Joseph Benavidez. Tough as hell. Been in a division since its inception. I would really hope that he gets like a Hall of Fame spot whenever he leaves. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's something he deserves. Anyway, Figueiredo looked his best performance. It is definitely his best performance because it was like a flawless victory. I think that the only thing I can recall Benavidez landing on Figueiredo was a leg kick early in the fight, like early in the round, first 20 seconds in. And then it was all Figueiredo. Devastating performance. He's the scariest guy in the division, especially because there's no Triple C. There's no Triple C and there's no Mighty Mouse. So he's the scariest guy in the division. If they keep the division, there's a good chance he'll be. I mean, there's a good chance he'll be a long reigning champ. And Lee, I would say at least for 2 3 years. I'd actually say longer because that division is still, even now, it's still building up. Um, Competition or like contenders. But all in all, great performance for Figueiredo. As far as the co-main, I didn't see Hermanson getting. I did not see him submitting Gastelum at all. I didn't see that happening. I think what I seen from that fight is Gastelum hung out too long in his guard, and hell, I didn't. Be honest with you, I didn't expect Hermanson to be that dangerous out of his off his guard. But I've only seen a few fights from him anyway. I thought he was more of a wrestler, top game guy, definitely dangerous off his back. And not only did he get that heel hook, but how he trapped, he hooked the other leg. He hooked Gastelum's other leg, so he essentially nullified Gastelum's ability to spin out or kick up. I mean, Gastelum had to take care of that hook before he could kick out or anything. It's a great win for Manson. First round submission. I can't wait to see. I think what Hermanson said, what he thinks is going to happen with the middleweight division. I think that makes the most sense. It's probably likely what's going to happen. Either way, I'd like to see Gastelum come back soon. Both these guys, great, great, great for the middleweight division. Anyway, Mark and Raphael. I'm not going to say their last names. It's a great kickboxing match. Raphael clearly won that fight. He dominated. He dominated. I like to see what he can do at the lightweight division. It was a great performance by him. Domination. He went Matrix at least 2 times. I mean, elite Muay Thai. The one thing I'd like to see him work on is his defense with his boxing. But well, he train if he trains out Tiger Muay Thai, he's got Petri on. So yeah, I'd like to see him work on that. Arlen Lipsky, beautiful knee bar finish, first round. It was that other first round finish, and yeah, I mean, he was fast. I the fact that she made the other girl scream, and plus because there's no crowd, you can definitely hear that. You know, great performance, and it was a nasty performance. And then Pantoja Askarov. That's how I saw that fight going. Exactly how it was. Just scrambling all over the place. As far as like any place an MMA fight can go, I believed that's where the fight was going to go. When you have two grapplers, for sure, at the flyweight division, where everybody can pretty much do everything. Maybe not to the level of a Mighty Mouse, but almost everybody can do everything as you get down lower in weights. So it's a good win for Askarov. I didn't know he was deaf. I really didn't know until they talked about that, or essentially deaf, or however it went. So it's crazy that he potentially has a disability that's got pros and cons to it. He can stay focused on game plans. But yeah, I didn't know that about him. That's awesome that he could fight at such a high level. If it is legitimate, if he can't legitimately hear at all, and he could fight at this high level with that apparent disability, more power to him, and that's awesome. Um, it's a pretty good fight card. Uh, all in all, really impressed with Figueiredo, and that's all I got to say on it. Leave your comments, what you thought about the fight card, in the comments. Hit that like if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe. And got more content coming. Gotta talk about Whitaker Till. Gotta look at the card first, do some tape, and then we'll go from there. See ya.